I played Division II softball at Washburn University back in Topeka, Kansas.
And you're a very modest girl. Greg told me that you had, what, 36 home runs in one season once?
School record for home runs and RBIs when I was in college, so it was broke shortly after. But right afterward, right out of college, I was a power hitter. So when I started slow pitch, I kind of tried to be that power hitter. And once I wasn't taking as many swings, as many repetitions daily, I started to lose some of that. So that's when I kind of taught myself, the backside swing. And that's what I've lived and died by for, quite some time. Basically, my last 5 or 6 years, that's what
And you do that so well. It's your point of contact, you let it come back. Where do you stand on the plate? Do you stand away from the plate quite a bit so you get that outside pitch more often?
Yep, I do. I stand off the plate. I also have, even inside pitches, I'm very inside out. I do force stuff that way, which gets me in trouble sometimes.
Yeah.
But pretty much I've learned to hit almost every pitch to right field, and that's...
And so what do the teams do? How do they squeeze you to try to get you out of that comfort zone, or do they even?
Oh yes, very much so. Most of the teams know me by now that that's where I want to go. I want to go middle or backside. But typically I don't try and change.
Will they move a rover? Will they move the second baseman back? What do they do?
Usually, most women play 5-man now, so they will put the 5-man on, the right side of second. They'll move the shortstop straight up the middle, third base clear over to shortstop. But I'm also one of those, I'm not going to change my swing for the defense. I'm still going to do what I'm comfortable with and use what pitch I can to get it where I want it. So when I first started, I was very much a pull hitter, and I tried to hit everything as far as I could hit it. I thought that I was a power hitter at that time. For the most part, the 3-4 holes where I want to go most of the time, but I do pretty much middle to right. Anywhere in there is what I'm looking to get.
Do you aim at the middle, any part of the ball, aim at the middle of the ball? Do you take your hand or knob towards the middle of the ball to try to hit it square? What do you do that way? What would your advice be to ladies?
I just wait for the pitch to get deeper in the zone. And sometimes you have to adjust your feet depending on the pitch, but for the most part I stay, pretty square and just let the ball get deep and throw my hands.
So then, rather than looking at any part of the ball, you just try to square up to it.
Right. Oh, I do hit off the tee quite a bit. At home, in my garage, when I don't really feel like shagging balls, I'll just go hit off the tee. And just the women's game has grown so much in general, and the teams have just gotten so much better. Like, I've always been a very competitive person, so as the game has grown, I've just wanted to better myself and make myself a better player. So I put more work into it, and just so I can compete at the highest level that I can, and
Weight training, how many days a week when you're on?
Oh, we lift at least 5 times a week, usually every Monday through Friday, every morning, and then...
You split the body parts, like back and shoulders one day, and
Yeah, so I have an app that I use, and it's separate body parts for the first week. You'll go shoulders, arms, legs, back, chest, and then the next week it'll mix two groups together for 5 days, and then you switch it back 2 to 3 times, and mixing in cardio with those reps, just because I'm at that point where I need that extra cardio to keep my limbs and my joints loose and that sort of thing. So
have you had a chance to work with any of the ladies here?
Yes, yeah, we've done a women's camp or a women's program in the morning the last 2 days.
What's the biggest flaw you see?
Too long of a stride and not using any of the backside. A lot of girls, all their weight shift into the front. They're not keeping any weight on their back legs, so they're swinging all arms. For me, I'm very fast pitched. It's always been very fast pitched for me. So when I swing, I'm gonna step and I rotate here and keep my weight balanced. You do see a lot where people drag their feet forward and they use more leverage in their back, or some people even come off of their back foot. That's not something I've ever been able to do. So for me, everything is here and here for my swing. I throw my hips and my hands at the same time I try. So usually I step and then everything goes. I've always just been one that I want to put the ball in places. So I don't focus on how hard I get it there. I just want it to go in a certain spot. I focus more on that than I do my power and all that.
Do you have any tips to these young ladies coming up that you would offer as far as getting a quicker route to success?
Repetition is a huge thing, and tee work is actually really huge. I think that's a good place to get your fundamentals in check. You can work on everything from your hands to your feet to your hips and everything on a tee. So just a lot of repetition and putting the work in.
My name is Sarah Orozco. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I am with Louisville Slugger, and I will be playing this season with a team out of Washington called Dirty Sports.
Your level of explosion is absolutely awesome for men or ladies. And anyhow, what's your background as far as sports, softball play?
So I have been playing softball since I was 5 years old. I played with a travel ball team out of Phoenix, Arizona, which we traveled all over the country from age 10 until I was 18. And then I played for Auburn University, so I was a college ball player, so I played D1. And got an opportunity to play with a slow pitch team, started in D's, and just managed to work my way up to double A's last year. So I had an opportunity to play with a team called Chaos. We placed second in the conference major.
And lost to who in the finals?
Lost to Smash It Sports. They're a great team, yes. So they had they hit amazing, and they've got good defense, and you know, it just they beat us out in the end.
Did you play much for Auburn? Did you get a chance to play?
I did. Yep, I started in right field for them.
Good.
So.
And what kind of did you carry a good average or have any power in college?
So I only had one home run. I'm more of a kind of lines hitter, so I tend to be more singles hitter, that kind. I had one home run, and a funny story is it was actually off my best friend that I played with since I was 5 years old. She played over at Kentucky, so
former best friend.
Former best friend, I know, right? No, we're still good friends today. She travels all over the world, so it's awesome. We still kind of joke about it, but
you just have a lot of muscle. How often do you work out?
So I work out. I hit BP and practice fielding 4 to 5 times a week, and then I have a regular circuit routine that I work as well with running 4 times a week.
Do you feel like you've had a lot of change? In fast pitch in college, they teach you to lift up the front elbow and basically drag the bat high up, high finish, which is just, I hate it. I think it's nonsense. You have a very level swing. You drive the hands at the ball, get extended and snap through a real straight line drive swing, more like the guys have than a lot of the ladies that transition from fast pitch. How did you make that change from the college swing, or did you always have that swing?
No, I did not. So I actually, the swing that you described is what I had when I initially came to slow pitch, and I used to pull the ball or I would foul out quite a bit. So working a lot of tee work, just swinging into a net and or taking the tee out on a field and practicing my lines and really focusing on what the feel was of my hand. So I always teach muscle memory and practicing with that. So it was just a lot of trying to hit the ball, you know, squaring up more, focusing on the angle that the bat was hitting the ball, which was where I was most successful with it.
Have you ever swung an axe before?
I have, actually.
Are you a serial killer?
No.
But, you know, sitting an axe into a tree, Ted Williams had a book, an old-time baseball great, where he says it's like throwing an axe head into a tree. Your hands stay palm down, palm up. Do you feel like your swing is throwing the bat head into the ball, to make the simplest of terms?
That is what I try to do, yes.
But the other analogy that we use is your hips are a lot like throwing a baseball or softball sidearm. You take a nice easy stride, and then your rear hip throws open, and that's what throws your bat head into the ball. Do you feel very similar terms, or how would you explain how your hips work?
I do. So with my hips, basically, a lot of times where you want to feel that weight is you really want to feel that weight in this pressure here. So as you're hitting, your weight is loading back. And then as you're getting ready to start your swing and start your hands, you want those hips to really start that top half. So you're pushing that through, and then that bat follows, and you're really starting to push through and get that weight behind the ball so you can drive it to whichever side of the field that you're hitting. Like a punch. So you should really feel that punch. That's how you're punching those hips through the zone.
Do a full one where you actually take a full stride and everything. I'll take the bat, just punching it.
Yeah, so full stride, and you should really just push through. So push those hips through, and that's where you want to feel like you want that front part of that palm and that fist to push forward.
And what kind of angle does that feel like? Level, up, or down?
I feel level.
Feel very level.
Yes.
You
should have good weight distribution. Have power, so my power is down the line. So a lot of times it's down the lines, and it's me running it, legging out those home runs.
You aren't trying to get a higher pitch where you can cut the bottom. You're trying to hit through the middle of it.
That's correct. So with mine, a lot is that angle. So it's the angle that the bat hits the ball. That's really what I'm. So a lot of times if I'm really focusing on, hitting up the middle or hitting my 1-4 hole or my 3-4 hole, it's that angle of where the bat is hitting the ball. So as I'm hitting, I've got my hands are out in front of my bat, and you can kind of see this angle. You see this angle of the bat that's pointing towards the 3-4 hole, and the angle that the ball is going to hit off is going to shoot off to that right side of the field. We're on the left side, and we're pulling on that left side. You're getting that bat angle out in front, and you see the angle of my bat's actually pointing at first base here, and then that angle is pointing out towards that left field. Practice just knowing where you're at, location of that box. Again, that's the other thing I always teach the hitters is that when you're practicing BP, live BP, practice like you're going to play in the game. If it's a ball in BP, it's going to be a ball in the game, and you want to let it go. Teach your brain that.
What do you think the two strongest muscles a lady should work on for her hitting?
So I always say your lats and then your legs.
What considerations should the rec players give when they're looking at product from Louisville?
So when they're looking at the product, so we have mid loads and we have the power load. So you've got a ½ ounce end load and you've got an ounce end load. So really, you know, whatever you're comfortable with, I recommend trying to ask around and see if you can get to swing some a little bit. I'm really liking both. I feel like they could pick any one of those. The Z5 is really good. I've been really liking this one a lot. If you're less comfortable with the end load, then I would recommend the mid loads. So you could go with the Lloyds. Those are 26, 27, 28 ounce bats. Those are great as well.
So fellas ask me all the time, how to become a real man like you, Bear? Well, you can't. But if you want to start acting like a real man, start swinging like a real man. Get yourself a Larry Carter. Show everybody what a real man you really are.